Hey guys, it's Prophecy Law here. I'm going to be going over why I turned in my license to the DMV, canceling my contract with the state, and effectively becoming a traveler, getting my rights back and becoming a traveler. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and we're just going to read the codes and laws behind it all. So we're met over here at 29 CFR Part 9. This is the Legal Information Institute of Cornell Law School. Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Act regulations. So the first one, purpose 29.1. The purpose of this part is to implement the Motor Vehicle Prevention Act, which requires the Attorney General to develop, in cooperation with the states, so they have to consent, a national voluntary motor vehicle theft prevention program. So big emphasis on voluntary. The program will be implemented by states and localities at their sole opinion or option. Like, at their sole option, meaning if they want. B, under this program, individual motor vehicle owners voluntarily sign a consent form in which the owner, one, indicates that the identified vehicle is not normally operated under certain specific conditions, and two, agrees to display a program decal or license plate on the vehicle and to permit law enforcement officials in any jurisdiction to stop the motor vehicle if it is being operated under specific conditions and taking responsible steps to determine whether the vehicle is being operated by or with the permission of the owner. Three, well, I guess, and three, the regulations set forth in this part establish the conditions under which an owner may consent to having his or her vehicle stopped and the manner in which a state or locality may elect to participate. Meaning that by getting a license and a license plate and registering your car, you're agreeing and voluntarily agreeing to let police stop you and harass you. That's number one. So let's define what an owner is. An owner means the person or persons or legal fiction whose names appear on the certificate of title or to whom the car is registered. So normally, if your car is registered to the state, then the state is the owner, or the certificate of title would mean the DMV, not the DMV, the car dealership. So this is the car dealership or the DMV in this case, when it be whom the car is registered to, which is the DMV that pertains to the state. In the instance of a new vehicle awaiting sale or lease, or in the instance of a used vehicle where the title has been assigned to a dealership, there it is, the term owner shall be construed to mean new and used automobile dealership. So you've never owned your car because it either belonged to the dealership, and when you didn't ask for the MCO or the SMO, or the MCO or the SMO, you never got the you're never considered an owner. It's either the dealership or the state. So let's go back to the next section. 29.2. For the purposes of this part, A, the act of the MVTPA means the Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Act. B, owner means the person. Oh, we just went over it. So it's the own. You've never been an owner. It's either the dealership or it's a DMV, aka the state. And C, the program. So even the program, this Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Act is considered an owner, right? The program refers to the National Voluntary Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Program implemented pursuant to the Motor Vehicle Prevention Act. So yeah, you don't own your car, buddy. Let's see. Number three, 29.3, administration by the Bureau of Justice Assistance. The director of the Bureau of Justice Assistance shall administer this program and shall issue guidelines governing the operational aspect of it, including the design and production of a standardized, universal, recognizable MVTPA reflective decal, as well as a model, consent, and registration form. Again, this is all voluntary. You having a driver's license, all that's voluntary. 29.4, election to participate by state and localities. So, A, any state or locality that wishes to participate in the program shall register to the BJA, that's crazy, and request program enrollment materials. Registration forms will be available upon request. Participation in the program is wholly voluntarily on the part of the state or locality. So the states like asked to set up a DMV. It wasn't like the government was like on them. It's like, yo, you got to get this. The states were like, yeah, give us a DMV so we can make money off these citizens. B, by electing to participate in this program, again, I mean, voluntary electing to participate in this program, a state or locality agrees to the following. One, making program enrollment material, including consent forms, available to interested motor vehicle owners. So this is again the DMV. Two, collect complete consent forms. So they have to collect. They're responsible for these things. Three, provide enrolled motor vehicle owners with the decals and license plates applicable to their program condition or conditions and instructions governing program participation. So this is supposed to let us know what's going on. They don't, but here I am telling you. Number four, take the necessary steps to authorize law enforcement officials to stop motor vehicles enrolled in the program. And five, comply with any other regulations or guidelines governing participation in this program. That's all we got to read, guys. Part 9, point 5, 29.5. In addition to the action, which is notification of law enforcement officials. So in addition to the actions enumerated, so mentioned, in addition to the things that were mentioned, that's what enumerated means, right? Uh, or rather, defined in a class in section B here, as conditions of participating in the program, a state or locality must agree to take reasonable steps to ensure that law enforcement officials under its jurisdiction are familiar with the program and with the conditions under which motor vehicles may be stopped. Which I would agree that law enforcement cops they're familiar with it. Are they 100% masters and versed at it? No. No, it's not that they don't have a clue, they just don't have enough of a clue for to understand when they're breaking the law and not. They are familiar with it. 29.6, limited participation by state and localities permitted. A state or locality need not authorize the stopping of motor vehicles under all set of conditions specified under the program in order to participate in this program. So the bar is low for the state to participate in this. Let's see next. Part 29.7, withdrawal from the program by state and locality. Withdrawal means to come away from, right? So in participating states or localities, any participating state or locality may withdraw from the program at any time by sending written notification to the BJA and by notifying participating owners, individuals by mail of the decision to withdraw. So owners again are the DMV or the dealership. Let's look at what the program means. The program refers to the National Voluntary Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Program implemented pursuant to the Motor Vehicle Prevention Act. Okay, so that's what the program is. Next, Part 28, Motor Vehicle Owner Participation. So here we go. Okay. 29.8. In order to participate in this program, the owner or owners of a motor vehicle must sign a program consent form and register with a participating state or locality, which is all the states. If the vehicle is registered to more than one person, legal fiction, both owners must sign the consent form by enrolling in the federal program. The owners of the motor vehicle, which we're going to get to that definition later, state that the vehicle is not normally operated under the specific conditions and agree to display the program decal or device on the owner's vehicle. Two, permit law enforcement officials in any state or locality to stop the motor vehicle if the vehicle is being operated under the specific conditions and take responsible steps to determine whether the vehicle is being operated by or with the permission of its owner. Three, expressly advise any borrower of the vehicle of the existence of this agreement and that such user will be subject to being stopped by law enforcement officials if the vehicle is being operated under specified conditions, even if the off official, oh my goodness, that was tough, have no other basis for believing the vehicle is being operated unlawfully. And four, comply with any regulations or guidelines governing participation in the program. So basically, if you elect to get a driver's license, register your car, participate in this license, this system, right? You basically give up your right. You tell them, I'm gonna follow the rules. Cops can harass me all they want, and I'm gonna do whatever you say. That's what that breaks down to. Let's see, 29.9 motor vehicle for hire. So this defines the activity that constitutes a cop being able to stop you, right? So any person who is in the business of renting or leasing motor vehicles and who rents or lease a motor vehicle in which a program, decal, or device is affixed shall notify the person to whom the motor vehicle is rented or leased about the program prior to the transferring possession of the vehicle. So what this sentence says, if you go rent a car, you are now in commerce. You're now in commerce. The car rental company that's renting you the car is in commerce, and you borrowing the car are also now considered in commerce and need a driver's license. Anytime you use that vehicle as a rental, you are considered driving in this case because it's involving a commercial activity. The guy who rented it to you is makes it commercial, right? B, the notice required by the section shall be printed in bold types to the rental or lease agreement and on the envelope in which the rental agreement is placed. The notice provision in the rental or lease agreement must utilize a larger font than the standard type of the agreement. The notice must state that the motor vehicle may be stopped by law enforcement officials if it is operated under the conditions specified by the program in which the car is enrolled, even if the officials have no other basis for believing that the vehicle is being operated unlawfully. So again, basically when you rent a car, there should be something in bold, huge text that says basically telling you like this is you're renting this car, you're conducting commerce, you need to have a license, because you're in commerce and whatnot, right? If it doesn't have that, then you can maybe sue. Who knows, right? You could, but it's just food for thought, right? Section C here, failure to provide the notice required by this section to a renter, right? So if you're the one renting, or leasee, may result in the assessment of a civil penalty by the Assistant Attorney General Civil Division or his or her designee of an amount not to exceed $5,000. So you can basically snitch on these niggas and you get 5K. Um, no penalty shall be assessed unless the person charged has been given notice and an opportunity for a hearing of such a charge. Next, part 29.10. Owner withdrawal from the program. An owner may withdraw from the program at any time uh, by completing re by completely removing the program decal and changing the license plate if necessary. The owner is also encouraged to notify the participating agency in writing of such withdrawal. So, what does that mean since you're not the owner? So basically, it's saying you got to let the DMV know that you don't want, right? That you don't want that license anymore, or the decal, or the license plate, and then they're gonna tell the state, hey, this particular guy has opted out because they're the owner, so you're like the messenger, like you gotta process it through the DMV, and then the DMV being the owner then tells the state, and then they kick out this specific cog in the machine, right? That's why I returned my license to the DMV and canceled that contract with the state. 29.11, sale or other transfer of enrolled vehicles. Upon the transferal of ownership of an enrolled vehicle, the transferring owner, the DMV, or whoever you have a used car, whoever, must completely remove the program decal, change the license plate if necessary, and encourage to notify the participating agency in writing of the transfer of ownership of the vehicle. So, say you somehow manage to get the MCO of the car, which is like the certificate, like its birth certificate, right? So let's say you get it and you're now the owner of the car. if you sell the car to somebody else, you have to first transfer the MCO, right? Then you both, or the participating agency in writing, if necessary, encouraged to notify. So one of you has to notify the DMV or whoever, or mostly the Attorney General, that this new guy owns the car. You got to send them a letter, maybe an affidavit, or you got to send them some sort of letter to let them know, hey, like well, a notice rather. Send him a notice like, hey, this guy owns a car now. He got everything. Next part, 29, 29.12, specified conditions under which stops may be authorized. So now this is talking about what's a legal stop or considered what constitutes a legal stop. A motor vehicle owner may voluntarily enroll his or her vehicle. So already voluntary is a problem, and give written consent to law enforcement officials to stop the vehicle if it is being operated under any or all of the conditions set forth in this section. For each condition, the owners must grant consent and affix a separate decal device or license plate. So that's the first part of that stipulation. A, time. A motor vehicle owner may authorize law enforcement officers to stop the enrolled vehicle if it is being operated between the hours of 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. By enrolling in a program with this condition, the owner must state that the vehicle is not normally operated between the specified hours and that the owner understands that the operation of the vehicle between those hours provided provides sufficient grounds for a law enforcement officer to reasonably believe that the vehicle is not being operated by or with the consent of the owner, even if the law enforcement official has no other basis for believing that the vehicle is being operated unlawfully. So that's a mouthful, but basically, I don't know if you guys remember when you get your license, it asks you like, at what times are you going to be operating this? Where you going to be driving? You're basically telling the cops or law enforcement that you're going to be conducting commerce between the hours that you put, whatever they may be, and then they can harass you during those hours that you put. But if you put like 24 hours all the time, then they can harass you 24 hours all the time. I digress. Let's go to B. Border crossing or port entry. A motor vehicle, which is a shortening of the real term, which is commercial motor vehicle. A motor vehicle owner may authorize law enforcement officers to stop the enrolled vehicle if it crosses, is about to cross, or is about to be transported across a United States land border, or if it enters a United States port. For purposes of this section, the phrase "about to cross a United States land border" means the vehicle is operated or transported within 1 mile of a United States land border. So again, the United States is the corporation, guys, right? It's the District of Columbia. So let's it's not the United States of America, which is the whole continental mass, right? The land. This is actually saying the United States land border, right? So it's a made up invisible border that pertains to the District of Columbia that's hyperimposed on top of the land, like some weird hologram, right? Participating states or localities may implement this provision in accordance with local conditions, provided that the participating state or locality may not exceed the applicable geographic area beyond the 1 mile from the United States land border. Again, it's fake, right? It's hyperimposed on top of the land. By enrolling in a program with this condition, the owner must state that the vehicle is not normally driven across a border or or into a port, and that the owner understands that the operation or transport of the vehicle within a mile of a United States land border or into a port provided sufficient grounds for a law enforcement officer to believe that the vehicle is not being operated or by with the consent of the owner, even if the law enforcement officer has no other basis or believing that the vehicle is being operated unlawfully. All that to say, if the cop is like, yeah, he looks suspicious, or I just feel like stopping this guy. It's basically giving them permission to stop you as long as you're enrolled in this system, in the program, as it states. 29.3, no new conditions without consent. So after the program has begun, new conditions under which a vehicle may be stopped may only be added to an existing program if the owner consents to the new condition or conditions. So again, that's the DMV, the the dealership. They're the ones who are normally the owner. You might be the owner if you can get your hands on the MSO or the MCO. But otherwise, and then when you register it to the DMV became the owner. You never were the owner. You bought it and you told, here, DMV, I'm going to give this to you. Can you please give me privileges that you can take away? That's what you basically did. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. This is your boy Prophecy Law. Shoot me a like or follow me on Instagram right here. Where is it? Boom. See you guys later. Thank you.